Hello, welcome back to my channel. Spring is in the air and it's a perfect time of the year to put down your phone, go outside, try out new things, do new hobbies. Today's video is gonna be all about hobbies. I'm gonna give you a very extensive list of actually unique hobbies. Some you might have heard. I'm gonna present them to you with a twist. So whether you're looking for a creative outlet, brainy and more mind-oriented, to the ones that are more active and outside, to ones that are more crafty, make some new friends, new connections, be it online or in person, I've got you covered. Jump to this timestamp if you want to get straight to the point, straight to the hobbies, straight to the breakdown. If you're new here, welcome. If you aren't, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and that way you don't miss any of my new videos. I share tons of lifestyle, cozy, comforting, self-improvement, self-care type of content. So if this is your jam, which you might have clicked the video because of that, then welcome. I wanted to address why hobbies. Now, you might have seen, I think hobbies are trending. People are trying to find new ways to bring in joy into their life with these very challenging times for a lot of us. Spring is all about renewal, about fresh air, about blossoming, about new beginnings. So perfect time to try out new things. But to be honest, you can do this at any point of the year. Hobbies are a great way as well to just learn to spend time with yourself. Obviously, there are hobbies that you do with other people, but they're a great way to start knowing yourself. Knowing what you like, knowing what you enjoy, truly just spending quality time with yourself outside of your phone, outside of your job, of other people, of expectations, and just be. This whole concept of spending time with yourself and seeking joy. If you've been a subscriber of mine for a bit now, I've been talking about joy quite a lot in the past few months. I have a Purpose Chronicle series in case that interests you, which is all about creating a life that makes you happy. In the topic of joy and purpose and feeling lost and perhaps overwhelmed or even scared to take your next steps, I listened this week to an old episode from Mel Robbins, from the Mel Robbins podcast. Again, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've been having my deep dive into Mel Robbins, her wisdom, her guest speakers, which are really, really good. Some really talented, really smart people. The podcast that I listened to this week had to do with a really inspiring guest speaker that she had, Dr. Martha Beck. The reason why I'm bringing this up in this hobbies video, I swear it's related. I'm not gonna bore you with a long summary of what the episode was about. You can check it out. I'll link it down below because it was such a great listen. You guys, really, if you're feeling lost, purposeless, directionless, that episode is perfect. The top line that I wanted to share and why it relates to hobbies and this topic of today's video really hit home for me with this whole concept of spending quality time with yourself, doing things you enjoy. She suggested that for you to find that light at the end of the tunnel, for you to find that purpose, for you kind of break from what's keeping you stuck, stagnant, is by tracking where you find joy. That's where you'll find freedom. That you don't need to wait for something to happen, for something to change to do that. That's what I really love about this whole concept of just carving out moments of joy for yourself, that it's completely in your control. I know life circumstances might be in the way of you being able to have as many moments of joy as you would want. You know, all of us would want to have days filled with joy, but that's not realistic. But as long as you try and make some effort to find some joy in your life, to do things like hobbies that really just fill your cup. She mentioned to focus on when and where your body starts to feel joy, your soul starts to light up, and continue seeking that. Continue following the clues of how you go back to that state, how you go back to that feeling. Continue noticing it because, and that this was a key thing, where your attention goes, your life goes. And she gave an example of players playing, let's say like football, soccer, something like that. Player with the ball is not looking at where the goalie is when they're trying to score. They're looking at the empty spaces, the tiny, tiny, tiny windows of opportunity that they have to score the goal. Where your eye goes, the ball goes, and the same goes for your life. Where your attention goes, that's where you're going, and that's what's gonna keep coming up. So even if it's just little moments of joy, of happiness that you can carve out for yourself, that's where your life is gonna start to head. You're gonna start to look, to notice, to know when opportunities to enjoy your life are showing up, to make them last longer. That's what I have learned this week. I thought it really tied in well with today's video. So without further ado, let's get going with it. So the first category and the first group of hobbies that I have carve it out for ourselves. Imagine just cottagecore, fairy life type of hobbies. You know, that's the mood and that's the category that we're putting out there. First up is upcycling. This can involve using some old clothes, plastic containers, upcycling anything, making it into accessories, making it into new clothes that you actually like or that actually fit you, household items, decors. You can create art from them. You can do so many things with upcycling. That's such an exciting one. Leather craft. So this is, as the name suggests, just making any sort of craft that involves leather. So it can be wallets, it can be cute vintage looking purses. It can be even upcycling something that was made from leather, but you turn it into something else. You can make belts, you can make knife sheaths. Oh my god, let's look at this tote bags made from leather, or tote bag look-alike. That is so nice, to be honest. There's so many exciting things, and I feel like leather is such... I imagine it's hard to get the gist of it and how to do it and learn how to do it, but I also imagine it's so rewarding. I love the look of leather. It's so elegant but grounded and earth-like. Painting denim jackets as well, or jeans, or any sort of things like this. This can all relate to upcycling as well, but I have seen people actually buy jeans and paint them so that they look unique and they put their own spark in them. I just think it looks so cool, and no one's gonna have a jean like yours. People make like waves or fire or hearts or even like little flowers. I feel like for spring would be so cute, especially if they come like from like the bottom up, if the flowers would kind of like be painted and kind of coming up. Sort of looks like flowers are like evaporating. I don't know. You can get so creative with these. It's crocheting. And this I know is a popular one. I've seen a lot of people getting into crochet. I myself, so nervous to join the crew of crocheting. Have you seen the sweaters, the bags? Honestly, anything that you can create with crochet. You can even create, and this is another one that I have for later on, but you can create even book covers out of crochet that look so cute. Or even like a cover for your Kindle if you're part of my bookish girly gang. The next two are pretty similar, sewing and quilting. You know, tell me this doesn't say cottagecore life, or that's at least how I see it, but you can do it in the middle of New York City if you want. This next one, I didn't even know was a thing, but it's gold work embroidery. So you know regular embroidery. This one is with you weaving actual like metal threads. Honestly, it sounds very challenging, but it looks beautiful. Like, look at the design, look at the cushions. Other than my bracelets, but I'm a gold girly. I imagine you can also do it with like, there must be like silver threads, but the one that I found was gold. But just the thought of using metal threads for an embroidery piece, stunning. The other one would be raising bonsais or maintaining them. I know bonsais can be a lot of work, and if you don't know them, there are these tiny little like plants that are like mini sized. They are just so pretty. My mom is such a fan of bonsai, so I've sort of grown up with bonsais all around. I know they can be very tricky to take care of them. You really need to dive deep into their world and learn how to take care of them. But I swear it's like entering a mini world. They look so cute. A way to get into gardening, you know? You can also try and make like little corners in your house, especially if you have a backyard, but I imagine you can do it with houseplants as well. Try and make it, and this might sound childish for some people, but I've been really into fantasy lately. You can make like fairy garden, fairy portal corners. Like, try and think what a fairy portal or garden would look like in your backyard, or just like a corner of your yard or something like that. But I've seen people do carve out door and say like entrance to fairy world or fairyland or something like that, and I just think that's such a cute way to romanticize your garden. Herbalism. I have been dying to get into a class of herbalism and really get to know as many herbs and their benefits and anything that they have to offer and that they can help with, everything about herbs. I just find it so fascinating. But if you wanna add a bit of whimsy, this might sound crazy for some people, but I can see it as a bit of potion making. So there are classes for this, as I mentioned. With some herbs, you can actually leave them to create like tinctures, or when you're sick, they can help out a lot with that. So there are so many ways that you can use and approach herbs. that I just find so fascinating. I feel like it's a whole world. And flower arranging, I'm so into flower arranging. I have found a really great way to approach flower arranging, if you don't want to do it too often, is to do it for every season. Do it for every change in season or every month, and just sort of like cater your flower arrangement to either the season, the seasonal colors, or how you want that month, like the energy that you want that month to put out into the world. Seed art. Basically creating art with seeds, like on a piece of paper, the same way that you would do a drawing. It's made with seeds instead of pencil or pen or markers. And it looks so cute. Birds would love it. These next ones are in the similar route of being artsy and a bit crafty, but not necessarily the cottagecore category. They can be like up for grabs. One is making dream catchers. I used to love dream catchers as a kid, and for some reason I've never thought of the idea of making one. And just imagine using feathers with your favorite colors and just like, I don't know. I love the concept of dream catchers, and I think that's such a great idea. One is kintsugi making. Buy the kit, I think from Amazon or online. It's not as good as professionals doing kintsugi, but kintsugi is this art that comes from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. It's this whole concept of like putting together a broken piece, usually a bowl, usually things made of ceramic, and putting it together with gold glue. It makes it look prettier for having been broken. It's just stunning. I really enjoyed my kintsugi piece. I'm gonna show it. Look at it. It was a successful project. So this is the one that I got from Amazon. To be honest, I don't know if I would recommend that kit because the glue is sort of still a bit sticky, but thankfully it has hold up. Still sticky. Like I can't take that out, but this is what amateur kintsugi would look like. It was so fun because you got to break the little thing and then put it back together. And if you have better glue than me, it can get really addictive. Jewelry making. I know that because of Taylor Swift and, you know, the friendship bracelets and all of that, you might have that jewelry making in mind, which fair enough. I heard it's really fun to do. I'm referring to actual jewelry making, you know, like going to the places or the classes that have the actual machines to like polish the brass, polish the silver, bend it. I did that a few years ago and it was so fun. It's so hard. It made me appreciate jewelry makers like never before. I'm very much a jewelry girl. I enjoy that so much. There's so much that goes into the process of even just making a ring. So interesting. And if you're into these sort of things, if you're into jewelry, it can be really fun. Next up, you might not be able to do at home, but it might get you inspired to look up a class in your city if you want. I will get to more like home-friendly ones in a second. It's a glass forming technique where molten glass is shaped by inflating it with air using a blowpipe, creating a variety of different vessels and objects. Now, fun fact, I learned about this because of my dad. Apparently he took like a minor in university on glass blowing. He was really bad at it, but he said that it was so fun and you can get so creative at it. And to be honest, I think he was just bad because he's never been good at crafts. He said he enjoyed it anyway, so I feel like even if you're not that crafty, you might get something out of it, but you do need to go to like a specific studio or something. Bookbinding. Oh. So this is similar to the creating book sleeves out of crochet that I mentioned before. I've been dying to get into bookbinding. Have you ever found a book that you just love, but you're like, the cover does not do it justice? Imagine trying to come up with the most beautiful like front cover for your favorite book because you didn't like the current cover, or just learning to personalize your books. I just feel like it's such a wholesome, cute hobby. Maybe because I'm biased and I just love books in general, but I love that idea. Next one is making wax seals. This has just seemed always like such a cool thing to get into, and I think it's such an easy one because I think you can get the kits online and all you need is like a little candle to melt the wax and then just put the stamp in it. I've seen people say that it can get so addictive that some people start just writing random letters to your friends, your family or whatever just because they want to use the wax seal. I like the domino effect that it can have if you really get into it. The other one is soap making. You might have seen that, I think it was in 2020 during the pandemic, that everyone was just watching those really soothing ASMR soap cutting videos. I don't know why that popped into my mind, but soap making sounds really fun. You can cater your soap to the smells that you actually love. It's a great way if you're into like organic things and all of that to really know what goes into your soap. Candle making. Oh, I've been dying to get into candle making because I love candles, and just imagine creating your personal scent. A lot of this has to do with personalization, but I just think it's your life, and what better way to just have things around you that truly were made for you because you made them for yourself. The other one is plant pot painting. I've seen some classes around that, but I imagine you can just buy a regular like pot for a plant and start to paint it. And that way you get cute designs for your plants, and it's almost like they all have their wardrobe and it will personalize through you. You want to get into these creative hobbies, but you think, you know what, if I sit down with a piece of paper, I don't know what to paint, I don't know what to do. Painting by number, I used to do that when I was a kid, but there are books for adults for painting by number. So you're painting actual like cool looking pictures, but they're by number, so you know exactly what you're doing. You know, if you're very logical and very almost like type A person, perhaps this is for you. Wouldn't be one of my videos if I don't mention watercolor painting. If you do want to let loose your mind, watercolor painting is so fun. And I feel like it's so beginner friendly because I've been doing it and I haven't painted in years. I have found watercolor to be very forgiving. With regular paint, if you like screw something up, it's so noticeable. Watercolor is so soft. And you can build it up, you can build it down, you can diffuse it with more water. In my opinion, is the best way to dip your toes into painting in general. Do with wood. So we're getting back into the ones that need a bit more equipment, but either woodworking, wood carving, or pyrography. I had no idea what this was before researching for this video, but wood burning. Stamp wood, from what I understood, you create like, there's all these sort of designs, all these sort of beautiful things that you can do around wood. I just found this so interesting. The next one is scrapbooking, journaling, any sort of written paper recollection of your life, even album making. I just find anything that has to do with documenting your life in one way or another. I mean, I make videos, but you can also do it through pictures. Guys, I don't know about you. If you've been in the side of TikTok that is about like subscriptions and how, it's a tangent, but how we're no longer owning a lot of the things like movies and all of that we buy in like Prime or whatever it is. I love the idea of nowadays going back to the old ways and having physical things. Like my pictures aren't only on my phone, I actually have a physical representation of a concert, of a birthday party, of even just a year, but like being able to look and have and touch with my friends, with my family, with my loved ones, beautiful landscapes of trips or travels, making little notes on the side. I love that concept. I think bringing some of that tangibility back that we know cannot be made by AI, at least yet. Another thing I've seen a lot of people getting into is air dry clay. I know that with it, some people were starting to make like fridge magnets, which looked super cute. I also like that you can make like jewelry bowls or dishes, or even like for your rings, stuff like that. I don't know, I feel like there's so many things that you can make with air dry clay. Jumping into another category because it's gonna be so long at this point. This is all about collecting. Make your life a scavenger hunt. I love this idea. I just feel like there are so many interesting, cool things that you can collect and makes you look at your life, as I said, as a scavenger hunt. You can collect records. It can be for a specific music genre, blues, jazz. It can be for a specific music decade, even books on a specific topic or time or author. It can get so interesting. People that collect postcards, I wanted to get into that, but I started and then I lost all my postcards, so I might need to start over. But collecting old cameras or old equipment like that, I just think it could look so cool, even to just have at home like a showcase of your personal collection. Imagine having cameras of all ages in your home versus so just like vintage ones. I know obviously there are people that collect like Hermes bags, but I'm talking more like there's so many options. These are more active hobbies. One of it is juggling. I feel like I would be so bad at this, but it also looks so fun. So juggling can be a hobby, you know. Archery. I've always wanted to get into archery. I don't know why. I just feel like there's such a powerful air that comes from saying, oh yeah, I know how to shoot an arrow. Wow. Like you would survive in one of my fantasy novels, like my fantasy books. I wouldn't. I might need to get into archery. On the similar note, you could also get into fencing, pickleball, play tennis. These are some sports that are more like mainstream lately, I would say. Hiking as well. Also, and this might be a weird one, but like doing scavenger hunts. I feel like there's a way you can make these a hobby of yours, especially if you have like, I don't know, friends or family, or you find people that enjoy them as well and go along with it. Perhaps if you like each take turns on like organizing the scavenger hunt. I used to love scavenger hunts as a kid, and I don't know at one point in life we stopped doing them because just the thought of like being on a quest to find something that's probably gonna be like an egg or a rock or something really valueless in that sense, but like everyone gets so into it. I just love that energy. 5 round of active ones because we need to get this going. Bike touring, rock climbing, dancing. The thing about dancing is there are so many different types. Pilates, you have reformer Pilates, mat Pilates, bar, yoga, and weightlifting. You know, everything that the girlies are doing on TikTok. They are doing it for a reason. They are fun. Alright, let's jump to vintage hobbies. Sun is almost down, so let's go. Life before screens. Think when we used to go outside and actually touch some grass without online people telling us to do so. First up, puzzles. So, I know puzzles may sound boring. I think puzzles can be so fun. Just pick one up that on one hand, if you're just started out, don't pick the ones that have like 4,000 pieces. Up a picture that you would actually like to have hung up as decor. That can be so fun because after you finish it, like when you're doing it, you might need to put it on top of a cardboard or something like that, but after you can glue it all together and then frame it, and then it's like decor, but it's a puzzle. Board games. Guys, I don't know if it's just me. Perhaps it's just me. I used to love playing board games as a kid. I'm very much into mystery. My favorite one was Clue or Guess Who. My brother used to love Monopoly. You know, to each their own. I like Monopoly, but I think it really brings out the worst in people, but maybe that's the fun of it. Jenga could be another one, or even card games. I think it can be so fun, especially if you're feeling particularly like lonely, or I don't know, you just want an excuse to meet up with other people, meet up with your friends, perhaps even start a club or see if there's a club of people playing board games. Making them a regular occasion, an occasion to just get together, cover a bit that sense of community that I feel like a lot of us are missing. Board games. Yo-yoing. I guess yo-yoing can be quite fun. And I feel like it's one of those hobbies that can almost become mindless, like in the sense of like you just bring it with yourself everywhere. You're queuing for some place and you just start yo-yoing. Can you imagine being in the queue for the bank or something, and then you turn around and the person is just like so cool, so collected, they're just yo-yoing away the time. Those sort of like science kits, because when I was a kid I used to love making perfumes, and by making I mean ruining my mom's perfume, but just because I wanted to feel like I was a chemist. I was not at all. I was just playing with dirt and plants in perfumes, and my mom would want to kill me. I just thought those science kits that they used to sell for kids to get into science would get really fun. I don't know, they're all about experiments, and I think that could just be super fun. Why leave all of these fun games just for kids? One is mixology, so we're delving into adult-only territory. Mixology is learning to mix drinks. Now, it doesn't have to be alcohol, because it could be mocktails. Learn how to do mocktails or cocktails, or even just, I don't know, smoothies. I love fun drinks. They're super colorful. And I just think it would be so fun to start experimenting and learning about different flavors and different things, and even spices. Gin and tonic, like gin, you can add little like plants, different like seeds, or like, I don't even know what they're called. You can spice up your gin with so many different things that it just got me thinking, what else is out there? Wine sommelier. Do I even have to explain it? Wine sommelier. What sounds even more elegant than that? Can give you a better excuse to go on trip to the Spanish or the French or Italian vineyards, or even in California. I think there are a lot of vineyards. I know category. This is for my brainy girls out there, are more perhaps words based or learning knowledge based, even though with a lot of these past hobbies you actually do need to know what you're doing. Learning a new language, most upfront one that I can give you. Imagine how cool it would be to just randomly say like, yeah, I speak like 3 languages, 4 languages. Learning to read tarot cards or handlines or astrology birth charts, or even just learning about the planets, but more in the sense of astronomy instead of astrology. So learning all these things, I think, just makes you such an interesting person, because imagine randomly, like you, day-to-day life has nothing to do with tarot cards, handlines, reading tea leaves. You randomly are like, oh yeah, like this planet at this angle, and blah, 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 and then people just, how do you know that? I also found, and this is again very specific, there are people that are into transcribing and translating random, obscure, no longer used languages, in the sense that they would, for instance, translate, let's say a Taylor Swift song into Latin, just because. Imagine singing Taylor Swift in Latin. The other one is calligraphy. Beautiful handwriting is such a lost art. Imagine writing a postcard to one of your friends and it can actually be framed as a masterpiece because your handwriting is that good. Poetry writing or poetry reciting or even haiku writing. I found this one person on Reddit that said that they really enjoy writing silly haikus. Like, how fun is that? Imagine you actually write those on a day-to-day basis and then you meet up with a friend and you just randomly tell them a silly haiku and then they're like, they'll never see you coming. And you've got Sudoku games, you have online trivia games, pub quiz nights, which you can do with other friends, and that's an excuse to go out, see your friends, but also you're learning with your friends. Kind of like you're back in your classroom at school, but with beer all around and actual enjoyment. And the last one, etymology. This was such a funny one, guys, because I had no idea what this meant. And when I looked it up, it just said meaning. What do you mean? Etymology is studying the meaning, the origin, and historical development of words. It studies the earliest occurrence of a word. For example, I thought this was so cute. For instance, daisy, the word daisy for the flower, apparently comes from an Old English word, means days, eye, and it refers to how the flower opens up like an eye in the morning and then it closes at night, and that's where daisy comes from. Random facts like that you would know if you become an etymologist. Now, this is already long and this is the last bit that I will tell you, but here are some just quick tips on how to make these hobbies stick. Start small, but keep at it. Keep it in your life. It can be every week, it can be every 2 weeks, but make it consistent in your calendar so it actually becomes a hobby and not just a one-off that you do one random time. It can also help to find your community. I bet there's people on Reddit, there's people online, there's YouTubers like me that have the most random and honestly wide range of interests that would love to connect with other people that enjoy the same things. So look for Facebook groups, for book clubs. I recently joined one in Fable, which is like a Goodreads, but it has honestly a much cuter layout and it has book clubs on, and it's been great. I'm discovering such good books. People have great theories and commentary throughout. You connect with people online. It can be in person, it can be online, but find communities that enjoy that same thing and that can help progress with you. You can share your progress with them, you can talk about it, you can connect about a common interest. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. If you start to make your jewelry and it looks awful, don't overthink it. It's for fun. It's just for fun. If you want to share it, because there's a lot of value in being proud of something and wanting to share it with other people. But if you don't, if you want to take the pressure off of it, just tell yourself, no one's gonna see this. It's only gonna see my eyes and my eyes only. Enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and please don't forget to subscribe. Share with anyone who's also been looking for hobbies, because you never know. Come back to this if you want to try out one hobby, but perhaps next month you want to try out another one. Yeah, subscribe if you want to see more lifestyle, more fun, more joy-filled videos and hobby ideas and just life. Thank you for watching and I will catch you in the next one.